Hey everyone, welcome back to The Quiet Fight. Today we have a special guest on the show, Djay McGrath. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
We greatly appreciate it. You know, we saw your Instagram page where we see what you're doing, and we're very excited to have you on the show.
Yeah, and thank you guys for thinking of me and bringing me on. And like I said right when I walked in, it's huge what you guys are doing, men especially.
Yep.
You know, starting that conversation and making it normal for us men to know that it's okay to not be okay and it's okay to talk, right? So hats off to you guys for starting something like this.
Well, thanks so much, man. Like I knew you growing up back in the day, and as soon as I saw that you were doing the whole mental health thing, and I was just super pumped. I was so excited about it. You know, me being new to my journey, our journey, I guess, right? And I just feel really grateful that you're here today, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's small world, especially.
Oh yeah,
Saskatchewan.
Yeah, it's Saskatchewan, and growing up in small towns, you know, the Kinnersley Rosetown rival.
Oh man, it was brutal.
It was, but yeah, it's crazy how, you know, we come back in a full circle, and I'm a big believer everything happens for a reason. So we're here, fellas. Us three have a story, but we all came out on top, and now we're giving back. So it's great.
Trying to help.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, right on. The reason we brought you on today is you have a story to tell, and we just want you to tell your story, share it, you know, as much as little as you want, and kind of wherever you want to start.
Yeah. It all started when I was 15 years old. Obviously born and raised in Kinnersley, Saskatchewan, and I was a hockey player, man. I was a baseball player, and I was a pretty good one. And everyone knew me. I remember when I was a kid, everyone knew me as Djay, the hockey player, right? It was never known as, hey, this is my buddy Djay. It was always, this is the hockey player Djay. So, you know, I love that. Growing up, I got two older brothers that kind of led the path for me, Dana and Tyler, and I knew I wanted to be a hockey player, and obviously Kinnersley not having that midget AAA, junior A, WHL level, I had to make an important decision to move away from home at age 15 years old.
Yep.
I was hockey ready. I knew nothing about mental health. I knew I was nervous. I knew I got to leave my mom and dad. I got to leave all my buddies behind. And I remember I was the only kid that year that had to bill it. Live with a completely different family, and
That'd be pretty scary.
It was scary, and going to a new school, it's all little things like that. And I didn't know I had social anxiety. I didn't know walking into a classroom of kids I don't even know. I was petrified. I was so worried about what other people were going to think of me, right? And my first rookie party, man, didn't see alcohol when I was a kid. Obviously seen it, never touched it. I remember getting to the dressing room, and I just couldn't fit in with anybody. Not knowing anybody, but again, I was a hockey player. I was a top scorer of that team, and I remember it was our first rookie party, and you guys know obviously rookie parties in sports.
They get crazy, man.
Yep. And I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. I remember before the vets got us a case of beer. I think it was 6 rookies. And we went to a party. There was about 300, 400 people there, and what we had to do as our rookie treatment is I had to get butt naked in front of the whole party. Taped warm after the microwave, warm big Colt 45 beers taped to our hands, and I had to dance in front of the room and chug these beers. I wasn't okay with that, but you know, that mentality back in the day, I had to impress the vets. I didn't want to be that rookie. It was, if it's sad to say, back in the day, if you weren't drinking, if you weren't a part of the boys, what is wrong with this kid?
Yep.
Right? That's what was engraved in us. That was the culture, right? And I remember after that, there's that chase the water, whatever, 8 shots. And I remember I got blackout drunk. And the next day at the dressing room, man, everyone, good job, Deej.
Yeah, you did it.
You're the life of the party, man. If it wasn't for you, this party would be dead. And I remember thinking at that time, I was like, is this what I got to do to fit in? Yeah. My feelings were frozen. I didn't feel homesick. I didn't feel my thoughts and feelings. Started drinking every day at 15 years old, fellas.
Man, it's kind of sad because you bring that up, and I'm thinking of two things. Like, I remember, like, even high school freshie parties in Rosetown, like, we were paddling kids. Like, we were essentially assaulting the younger kids and then getting them fucked up to oblivion, like past, like absolutely puking passed out. And what they'd be 14, 15 years old. And then when I went and played, post-secondary sports, I was a football guy. Like, we had our rookie parties, and it was the same thing, man. It was, taping fucking bottles of liquor, making sure that they puked and threw up, getting them fucking butt-ass naked or embarrassing them. Like, that culture is just not it, man.
Yeah.
But you're right, you don't press anything because you want to be liked by your teammates. You don't want to, cause issues or whatever, because then you're not going to get invited or, they're going to treat you like shit on the practice field or whatever. So, fuck, that hits home, dude.
Yeah. And I basically lived like that for majority of my hockey career.
Yep.
And yeah, in Saskatoon there, then obviously after that year, I had to go back home to Kindersley, and I'm starting to smoke cigarettes. I remember 5-10 minute breaks in school. I'm in people's vehicles drinking, and I had young kids looking up to me, right? I'm the only kid my age going to play, and everyone thinks it's all sunshine and rainbows in my life. Well, no, and I know before I came on, we were talking about isolation, man. It's slowly started happening for me. I didn't want my parents to find out that I was drinking. You guys know parents do everything for us. Yeah. Not a chance I would tell them. I remember phone calls from mom and dad. How's it going, DJ? Oh, that's awesome. I'm having a great time. How's school? Great. I'm failing 3 subjects. I just couldn't tell them, and I thought I'm invincible. I'm a young guy. I'm living my dream, and I didn't think nothing was going to happen to me. And then my draft year is the WHL draft, and I'm sitting at home at school. I remember it was English class, and I didn't really know much about the WHL other than the Blades and the Kindersley Clippers. I was a stick boy, water boy growing up. Like, I didn't really know much, and I remember I get a announcement, Djay McGrath come down the office, and I remember every single school teacher was giving me a standing ovation. And I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, Dj, congratulations, you got drafted 3rd round to Everett, Washington. And I remember I was like, where's that? I'm already 2 hours away from home. I'm homesick. I want to be home.
Yep.
But I didn't want my ego to be gone. I'm a hockey player. I didn't want to let down anyone in my hometown, right? So I remember going home, and my mom and dad, my 2 brothers are there kind of giving me a hug, and this is before the cell phone days. My dad pulled out the map and showed me Kindersley to Everett. It was a 22-hour drive.
That probably hit you pretty hard.
It did. It was the first time where I should feel excited. Like, why am I not feeling excited? Why ain't I? This is my dream ever since I was a kid, right? Was to play in the WHL. I didn't think I was ever going to be a WHL hockey player, and then I'm feeling those feelings. And I'm like, what's going on with me? Is there something going on with DJ?
Yeah, I should be happy.
I should be happy right now. I'm not going to tell my mom and dad this. I don't want to let those 2 down that done everything for me. My 2 older brothers. I don't want to let them down. I was never thinking about me. Ever once was I thinking about, how is DJ doing?
Yep.
Because you're making them proud.
Exactly. Making them proud. And mental health, it wasn't a thing. It was suck it up, get over it. If I told somebody, I'd be classified as a pussy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, especially in a small town, right? Yeah. It was just a common thing. And I remember I wasn't working out. I went out to Everett, and remember packing up the vehicle, 22-hour drive, me and my mom and dad, and I was the first forward selected, so they're pretty promising for me. And I'm the first guy in my mental health. I didn't work out. I was overweight, but I had the skill whenever I went out there. And if you make the main camp, there's a rookie camp, and then if you make the main camp, your parents go home. So we stay in a hotel room, me, my mom, dad, in this hotel. I make this main camp, and parents go home. So it's the first time my parents are home, and I remember it was me and another kid from Saskatchewan in a hotel room. We had to be at the rink the next day at 9 o'clock, and I'll never forget. This is why I show up early and everything now. I remember at 9 o'clock, I hear a big fucking coaches, general manager, fucking tore a strip on us. We're late for the first day of main camp, and I got sent home. Just sent home, and had to apologize to everybody. And that was like the first wake up call. But like between you and I wanted to come home. I was not ready to be 22 hours away from my mom and dad, right?
Yeah. How would you have been then?
I would have been 16.
16?
16 years old.
Yeah, that's pretty young.
It is.
Yep.
Now looking back, man, 100%.
Yep.
And ended up coming back to Saskatoon and playing, but it was terrible. I stopped hanging around with my teammates, isolating, still drinking every single day,
Yep.
not talking, depression, anxiety, ADHD. When I found that out, I thought I was a loser. Like, I thought I was alone. I thought I was the only one going through this, especially being an athlete, right?
Yeah.
It was tough, and ended up going back out to Everett that following year and made that team. I thought my mental health was going to be gone. I thought I was going to be okay after I made that team.
Yeah.
No.
When you were, playing for those teams, did they have any sort of mental health supports in any way?
You know what? I remember they did, but once a month we had to meet an older gentleman. I'll never forget. He was in his late 70s. I'll never forget. He was always wearing a black trench coat, but he was a doctor. When I was going through it, man, every time I had to go see him once a month, not a chance.
You're not going to open up.
Never, not going to open up. It's just that feeling. I need comfortable.
Yeah.
I was scared he was going to relay it to the coach.
Yeah, and then you can't play anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm scared I'm going to lose my spot in the lineup. I'm scared I'm going to get sent home with my mom and dad. My brother's going to think of me. Not a chance was I going to. It was just that weird environment, right? Like, it was like kind of a darker room and all this. Like, and back in the day, if you had a problem, you told someone, well, you're a psycho or there's something wrong with you, right? So, yeah, man, I masked everything. And I lasted 2 years out in Everett.
Yeah.
Parted ways.
Yeah, and you say you lasted. So was that by choice, or was it like a slow decline?
It was.
Or?
It was a slow decline. Obviously, being a top end kid here, I was in and out of the lineup. Starting to get really frustrated with myself. I didn't know how to talk. I'm trying to deal with everything on my own, and I just started hating the game of hockey.
Yep.
Which I never thought in a million years I would ever say, but it was a struggle getting to the rink every day, and I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I parted ways with them, and then came back home to Kinnersley, and I got to play for my hometown Kinnersley Clippers. Yeah. That was my ultimate goal when I was a kid. I was a stick boy for hometown kid. When I came home, my homesickness was gone, right? I started slowing down on drinking because I'm playing good hockey in my hometown of Kinnersley, making mom and dad proud.
Yep.
And then bad fucking knee injury, man. Fucking took me out for the whole year. I ruptured my ACL, MCL, my kneecap. I got hit. And right there, I thought it was my fault. I thought I let the whole town of Kinnersley down, and we were good, and we were supposed to go somewhere with this year, and I thought it was my fault. What did DJ do? Started picking up the bottle again.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure.
It was a lot of pressure, and I remember I was so good at living a different life. Now that I think about it, like, I remember I'd hide a case of beer under my bed at my parents' house, do my practice or whatever after a game, come home, shut my door, drink myself to sleep, cry.
That's rough, man.
Yeah, it was tough, and my 20-year-old year, I got to be the captain of my hockey team, and I thought that was one of the coolest things. But man, like, it was one of the worst years of my life. Like, I couldn't be a captain. My mental health and my thoughts in my head were taking over everything. I hated going to the rink, hated hockey, and after that 20-year-old year, I wanted to shut it down.
Yeah.
I wanted to quit, but there was something in my head where, like, I don't want to let anybody down in that again.
That's huge.
What is DJ going to do now? My identity is going to be gone. I was just a hockey player, and then I'll never forget, I got a phone call from the Red Deer College Kings, and I had 5 free years of school because of the WHL. I tell the kids that I had 5 free years of college education paid for. So I'm like, the coach said, hey, we're going to give you an A on your chest. And again, this is how good I was hiding. No one knew I was drinking every day. No one knew I was smoking weed, smoking cigarettes. I was just that good at hiding. And I told myself I wasn't going to go. Then a week later, I called the coach and said I'm going. And now that looking back, I went because I did not want to hide anymore from my mom and dad. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, this is a good exit for me.
Yeah.
Get out of here, go to Red Deer.
Less pressure because you're not hiding anything.
Exactly. And this is crazy. This is a mentality I've been going through. Now I'm out in Red Deer, and this is the first time I'm going to school again, right? And this is the first time I'm playing hockey, going to college, girls, I was doing good the first week until I found myself in a bar that second week. It's like repetitive, going to a new school again, right? What's everyone thinking about DJ? I found myself in a bar, kept drinking. And after that first year, I ended up staying in Red Deer because I couldn't show my face in Kinnersley anymore. And I remember mom and dad calling me, how you doing? Oh, everything's going good. Mom and dad are feeding me money in my bank account because I'm going to college. And then after that first year, I ended up staying in Red Deer because I couldn't show my face. And I got introduced to a drug, cocaine, after that first year. A guy wasn't even on my team, man. I remember I was working for the city of Red Deer, and a guy that I just met at a bar came over and pulled out a white bag of cocaine, man. I get chills thinking about it because I remember, and that one line of cocaine, I had a 10 plus year addiction, man. Again, lasted 2 years. Yep. See that 2 year thing, right? Oh, it's just a 2 year. Call up my dad again. After 2 years, I was ready. Like, I was isolating myself. I was hanging around with the wrong crew. I was hanging around with my teammates in the bar every day. My school, failing school. I don't give a shit about school. I'm here to play hockey, yep. Right? And exit everything. And, you don't have curfew calls anymore. You don't have coaches down your throat. And because you have a loose leash, you're an adult now. Yeah. And I took it the wrong way, man. Try to impress everybody. I was friends with everybody. If anyone wanted a party, basketball team, football team, anyone in that college, you call DJ because he'll make that life of the party.
Yep.
All the time I'd go and be the life of the party, making sure everyone's having a good time. But when I came home, I cried myself to sleep, man. Filled up everybody's cup. But where was DJ's cup, man?
Yep. Man, you sound exactly like me.
I was thinking about that the whole time, and this is later on in life, obviously, but Dylan and I have known each other for 9 years now. Yep. And I didn't know he was doing a lot of this. Like, he would text me, call me, hey, you want to go out tonight? I have kids and a family, so a lot of that probably saved me, or else I would have been going out with Dylan a lot. So definitely grateful for that. But I know Dylan and I have talked about this, and you can go into more depth if you want, but if I wasn't going out with him, he would be reaching out to somebody else. Mm-hmm. He'd be reaching out for somebody else just to get out and drinking.
Yep. So my crutch was alcohol, and like we said before, progressive disease just got worse and worse. I didn't realize it, but I also was in denial too. So I wasn't really hiding anything. It's not that bad, right? But progressively got worse. But yeah, man, I got a reputation for being the party guy, being the guy who's always fun, hanging out with chicks and all that kind of stuff. So anytime somebody wanted to do something, it was like, well, call Dylan up. Or what's the best bar? Well, Dylan knows. Yeah. It's a Tuesday. Dylan definitely knows where to go, right? And so I had that reputation, and then kind of near my breaking point, I really got sick of that reputation, hearing it all the time. And right, I'm in a committed relationship now, right? And people are still calling me party guy, and I'm not the party, but I was going out till 4 a.m. doing God knows what, kind of thing, right? So everything that you've just said is it's hitting me pretty close to home, man, because I was the exact same way.
That's why it's powerful right here. One guy's opening up and it's relating. And that's why it's so powerful to talk. Yeah. I didn't talk, and I almost lost my life because of it. And after that 2 years, called dad, and he's like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm done. What's going on? I know, Dad, I'm ready. I'm ready for the real world. School's not for me. Hockey's, I'm done. So I remember packing up that vehicle again, long 4-hour drive home, and now what? Back in my hometown, everyone's thinking, why is DJ done hockey? Why is DJ doing this? Why is DJ doing that? And I remember my parents got me a condo in Kinnersley just to make myself comfortable. Got myself a dog who I love this day. He's my emotional therapy dog, and every day I got a job selling vehicles in Kinnersley. I had a little routine. I remember I'd wake up before work. I'd go to my drug dealer's house, grab a bag of cocaine, and do my thing at work. And right after work, I'd grab another one and lock my house, lock my windows, lock everything, and shut my door and do my thing and isolate myself, man. Suicide thoughts. Yep.
How close did you have, at that point, did you have a tight circle of anybody or anybody that you would talk to or rely on?
not talk to and rely on, but I had a couple boys that I used to party with all the time.
Like drinking buddies.
Drinking buddies, cocaine buddies. Thought they were my best friends, you know.
It's funny because we just talked about this in our last episode, loneliness and isolation, and we talked just about that. Guys, we don't open up to our friends, right? Especially when we're younger. We think we have really good friends, but realistically they're just party buddies, and there's no real deep connection. And that deep connection is really how we get out of the hole. But yeah, sorry.
No, it's good, because I always say to my buddies, if you get, let's say 4 females go out to a person's house or like one of their houses, what are they talking about? They're talking about life shit. They're talking about their family. They're talking about their struggles. You get us men, 6 of us men, someone's bringing a case of beer and we're all getting fucked up, and who's ever the blackest is maybe going to say something, but no one's going to remember the next day. Right? And that was the thing. And if one guy even said one thing, it's all fuck, man. Like, you you just get that weird, you'll be fine, man. And then straight to sports, straight to whatever talk. And that, so I was working selling vehicles in Kinnersley. I'm lost. I'm doing drugs every day. I'm drinking. I'm even playing hockey. I'm not going to weddings. I'm not going to family functions anymore. I'm not even hanging out with my family. And I was so good at painting a picture, man, on my face. Didn't let anyone have a sniff what was going on. And June 6th of 2022 saved my life. This is why being vulnerable, man, and talking about your feelings and just surrendering saved my life. And this is why I like sharing this. It was on a Friday, on the 6th, and I did my ritual. I went to work, did my stuff, grabbed my drugs after work, and I remember I had to go do something downtown that day. And I remember I dropped my bag off at my house, went and did my thing, came back. Still to this day, I don't know where this bag of cocaine went. And this is like at 7 at night. And I was a former hockey player, right? Former hometown captain. And I remember at 7 at night, I had my phone light on, ripping up and down my curbs, streets, freaking out. Where's this bag of cocaine? I'm yelling at my drug dealer, blah, blah, blah. And I look over across the street. There's 3 young kids playing street hockey. Yeah, it's tough, man. They looked at me and asked me what I'm doing. These kids are looked up to me, you know, and I'm sitting there freaking out, and they asked Djay what's going on. And I remember I dropped everything, went inside, and I broke down. First time it was like a cry. Went in my room, found a rope, stared at this thing for fucking hour, man. Everything coming back, you know, my past. I had no traumas growing up, fellas. I had a great life. And now I'm here, you know, suicide thoughts. I was sick and tired of fucking being sick and tired, man. Until, that's why I believe in that man upstairs, is I was staring at this rope, and it was a sense of me like, tonight, Djay, you're going to go tell your mom and dad. You have life ahead of you. And I remember it was a 5-minute drive, and I fucking turned around. I turned around twice, man. I was so scared, but I told myself, Djay, if you turn around the 3rd time, you ain't making it there. I get to my parents' house, and scariest thing in my life, dude. My mom's my best friend. My dad's my best friend. And I remember getting up to the kitchen, and I open up that door. My mom's across the room, and I start bawling. And it was like a release cry, you know. It's just like, I'm here. You know, I'm safe.
I made it.
Yep. And I heard my dad's footsteps come up the stairs, man, and this guy, he's my best friend. And came up the stairs, and the first words that came to my mouth was, Dad, I am dancing with the devil, man. The best thing my mom and dad did for me that night was let me talk. No interruptions. Didn't ask me anything. They let me talk, and I laid out everything on that table, from 15-year-old Djay right to that 29-year-old present moment. And 3 words saved my life, man. After my mom gave me the biggest hug and told me she was proud of me. You know, those 3 words. Why didn't I think of speaking up when I was going through it? But this is what it is, fellas. This is the mental health in men. And yeah, mom gave me the biggest hug, told him absolutely everything. And she's like, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I don't know anything about counseling. I don't know anything about rehab. I'm in Kindersley. Like,
Yeah.
so I went to the lake. I had to get away from everybody. I packed me and my dog up to the lake, and I went out to the lake for 2 weeks, and I got clean. Started journaling, started sitting with myself. You know, I've never sat with myself without being fucked up, you know, never faced my feelings, never faced. I remember they got the lighthouse. I got it tattooed on my leg at the Aquadale Lighthouse. I went up there every day and I pulled out a journal and wrote. Saved my life, man. It was the hardest thing I ever had to do. And then I came back home to Kindersley, and now I have to tell everybody.
Yeah.
That was another big thing. And I was about month 3 into my sobriety, and I'm slowly trying to do stuff. I'm walking, I'm journaling, but I'm fucking struggling. Yeah. I'm not talking. I'm only talking to my parents. I'm talking to a few people. Still fresh. I don't hear anybody doing this. And I was month 3 into my sobriety, and I was ready to relapse. Like, I was struggling, not knowing where to go. And I had a conversation with one of my best buddies, and he said, DJ, why don't you share your story? Instant, fuck that, man. Like, I don't even like social media. I'm a small town kid. I'm the only guy going through this. And fair enough, I said, fuck it. I went to Walmart, grabbed a little circle light, and I went home, and I downloaded TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, and I pressed play and fucking just talked. And that's what kind of started everything. Got flown out to Ontario following week to speak, and I knew there was a sense of purpose. I knew this is my passion. I knew this is what I'm meant for, was to share my story to help these kids. You know, and I've been around Canada. I've shared my story lots, and I'm turning year 3 tomorrow, which is crazy, man. But what's keeping me alive is being real and talking. Yeah. You know, helping.
Good for you.
So yeah, I haven't had a drop or any drugs, and 3 years tomorrow, man. So
well, congrats, dude.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's been a wild journey. It's been wild. People ask, it's ever going to go away, your thoughts? No, it's not. I still struggle every day.
Yep.
You know, but I have tools. I have the right people. I pick up my phone and I call my mom every single day, man.
Yep.
Every single day.
That's super powerful.
Because she deserves it, you know?
Yep.
And yeah, it's my parents, they're my lifesavers, you know? It's fucking...
Yep.
But yeah, I'm just happy to be here, fellas. It's good.
It's powerful to have someone in your corner like that. And I'm so happy your parents were there for you. And I know, like, Dylan and I have talked about this in the past. Like, we necessarily didn't have that in our corner, but thankfully we had each other. And we had friends that gave us a safe place as well, right? So there's a lot of different outlets there that people can reach out to, and I'm thankful you're here, and that was powerful, man.
Yeah,
powerful. And I'll still remember the first time I came out and told my parents I was an alcoholic.
Yeah, how was that?
It was good. Like, they're both supportive. I know with my mom, when I came out and told her, she just looked me dead in the eye and she's like, I know, I love you. And I wasn't mad or anything, but my question to her was, well, why didn't you say something to me? And she was like, Dylan, if I would have said something to you weren't ready, you would have just pushed me away. And that was true, because during that time that I was drinking, if you wronged me or pissed me off in any way, you were out of my life.
Yeah, I could relate.
Like, you were done.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And then with my dad, he had no idea. Like, he had no idea. He's like, honestly, from my perspective, you know, watching you, you know, flourish through your sports and your career and stuff, I thought you had it all, man. I thought you had it all. I thought you had your shit figured out. I'm like, I didn't. I faked it till I made it, man.
No, it's sad.
You know, and they both had good cries, but they just said, you know, it's good that you realize that now, and we're here for you. Yeah. And it gets emotional, right? Like, we're all tough guys in this room. We don't cry. Yeah. But sometimes you need a good goddamn cry to get those feelings out, and it all just kind of works out in the end, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the hardest part for guys, and we've touched on it, is knowing how to talk about it. And, you know, being vulnerable isn't something that just comes naturally for a lot of guys. And it's something that you definitely have to practice at and get better at. And I can tell you've been doing this for a long time, because I have these questions here, and you've you've hit every single one. Like I don't really know what to ask you. Like everything. You like you know how to hit home, and you know how to tell your story, and it's a very important story to tell. You got me emotional.
Yeah.
I have a question. You know, I'm obviously still early in my journey, and there's struggles that I've had, and one of them was learning how to re-socialize in social interactions with buddies and going out and stuff like that, right? Because you still have to live a life. You still need to be part of, you know, the society or whatever culture you're in. And so how was that for you? Because I know for me, without my coping mechanisms and kind of relearning who I am, I had a hard time fitting in. Like I felt weird. I didn't know what to say. I was very quiet. Felt awkward. Like it's progressively getting a lot better.
Yeah.
You know, it's practicing and just learning how to talk again. But how was that for you?
Yeah, and thank you for sharing that. And how many months are you now?
Almost 9 months sober.
That's huge, man. Yeah. Huge. I love that. Yeah, and this brings me back to my 9 months, and I was the same way, man. I had to go down that lonely path. People talk about that all the time, is you can't get sober hanging out with your same crew. Like you just can't. And I was worried about what other people are going to think of me for sure, until one of my, just communication, right? I pick up my phone and ask, and one of my buddies says, Djay, you're going to go down that path, but the right people, the right things, the right places are going to come to you at the right time. And the more vulnerable you are, the more open you are, you're going to cancel out the people that are not meant for you in your life. And the ones that actually care about you are going to stay. It is wild, man. I moved out here about almost 2 years ago, and I found my people. My workout coach, Colton Stevenson, a couple of those guys, it's because we all could relate, and they understand me, you know? It took me a long time, and I think I told you before, it took me a long time to not give a fuck anymore, you know?
Yep.
I remember at the start posting videos, I was always so scared what men like you were going to think of Djay behind a camera talking about your feelings, and it bugged me, man. Like it used to give me bad anxiety, and now I just kept working on myself, kept doing it. And then obviously you get opportunities, right? You get people reaching out and asking thank you for sharing your story and all this, because if you help out that one person, man, it is such a good feeling. So it's, you know, I don't fucking give a fuck anymore what people think about me anymore. Like it's such a good, that outside noise, it doesn't really bug me that much anymore. But man, you're gonna find your people.
Yeah,
you will, if you keep talking, keep being vulnerable, because there's guys out there they're gonna reach out to you. And you find your biggest support from strangers too, man. I've got really close to some guys I never knew, but just because I'm doing what I'm doing, and it's crazy the relationship we've created. So you'll find your people, man.
Yeah, and we talked about that on the last episode, was about who actually shows up. Right?
Yeah.
Like who actually shows up? 1%, right? You have this big group of 50 people because you know you're the life of the party. Yeah. You know, these are all your buddies, these are all your good friends. 1% of them actually were there for you when you're being real. Yeah. Like, look, this is me. Yeah. Yeah, well, no, we don't want that anymore.
Exactly. Change, man, right? Yeah. You change and you're doing something good, and those guys, what the fuck is Dylan doing, right? Yeah. Like, because you're doing something right. They know that they need to make that change, but you did it, and you know how it is, man. Jealousy, everything comes a part of it. And I'm just a big believer, if someone has something negative to say, if a man especially is behind a camera, talking, having those hard, real conversations, and there's someone chirping or making fun of you, you're hitting something deep with that person, man. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So it's just, dude, it's, you know, it's mental health. It's serious.
Oh, man, if someone's going to talk shit about something that we're doing that's so positive, they've got some issues.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I live by that, man. It's crazy, this mental health world, man.
It is. So I got a question for both of you and myself too. So looking back, how do you think teammates, friends, or family could support somebody who's silently struggling? Like, is there anything that they could have done to help you? Were there signs maybe, or is there something that they can say, reach out? Like, is there anything anybody can do when you're struggling silently that can maybe help you get past that?
Yeah, I think it's important stuff. there's always signs, you know, there's always signs when someone is struggling. And like we always talk about, it's hard to speak up, but positivity, man, you know, pick up your phone and make a phone call. Ask someone how their day is. Hey buddy, how are you? You know, I'm here for you, man. You know, just positively doing that. And it's like, holy shit, like this guy. And then it's like, hey man, I'm actually going through something. Yeah. You know, just be positive around him. Make him feel comfortable around you. Yeah. You know what I mean? To make it easy. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, to build that deeper connection.
Yeah, exactly.
Make you realize, okay, this guy actually does care.
Instead of talking about football, hockey, and all that stuff. No, hey, buddy, maybe talk a little bit of stuff about you. If you know this guy's struggling, hey, man, I'm fucking, like, make it okay.
Maybe it's not the first or second or third time he reaches out. Maybe it's the fourth or fifth. And then all of a sudden, it cracks open that door.
Yeah.
And then opens up a whole new conversation.
It's no better feeling, man. I thought I was alone. Probably you guys did. For 10 plus years, I thought I was the only one going through this. Yep. But that one conversation, I meet you guys. You know what I mean? Isn't it crazy? Like, it's life is good, man. Being sober and sticking with it, man. It's a long journey, and you'll know, but it's
the grass is greener.
It is very greener. It is greener.
It's nice.
I was going to ask you guys a question. Since you're pretty fresh at your sobriety, I want to know thoughts and feelings, like when past comes out to you, like when you're sitting there, because you're still pretty fresh. How do you deal with that?
Well, I know, when I hit my my rock bottom, I was just like you, where I fucking cried for days and days, and I locked myself in a room. I just stared at the wall. I didn't know what to do with myself. And initially, it was a lot of shame. I felt a lot of guilt. All that anger and hatred and self-loathing that I've harbored inside myself for so many years just really started to come out. And then, like you said, like you start kind of replaying, the moments in your life that you really fucked up on, or the people that you hurt, right? And you're thinking about it, and it's just unbelievable that you could do those things to those people because you didn't love yourself, or you made one bad decision that snowballed into this huge thing. So I mean, initially it was super hard, man. Like it was just it was hard, but it was good. So for the course of for me for the past 5-6 years, I was just emotionally getting number and number, and I was using alcohol as a coping mechanism. So I didn't really feel too much. Like I couldn't love my partners back. I couldn't reciprocate any good feelings or share any good moments with people, because half the time I just wanted to get fucked up, and then I didn't remember the next day any of the moments. So that starts just replaying in your head, and I'm feeling all these emotions, the shame, the guilt, but then I start processing it in a healthy way, and that's when I started to go to therapy. Right, and I'm okay. Well, let's get real. Like, let's strip it all. Let's take your armor off and let's start talking. So then you start talking, and then you start relearning who you are as a man and what your values really are. And I started getting comfortable and okay with the things that have happened in my life, because if they didn't happen, then I wouldn't be at the point where I am now. To come back, to stand taller and to be able to talk about these things and actually try to make a difference.
It's powerful, man.
Super powerful. And so like it's baby steps, it's super early still, but I feel that change. Like I do not feel like the person I was a year ago, not one bit. Right? And people, like we talked about haters or whatever. Like you'd have to be around me to actually see the changes, of course. But, for myself, for my partner, for my family, right? Friendships, people that are actually there for me, they see it, right? And I love it, man. I love being sober, man.
I know.
It was scary at the start. It was super scary. I didn't know what to do.
Going in the unknown,
hands, right?
Yeah.
Like, right? I'm just like, like this little, I don't know, just scared, like in a hole, and I came out of that hole, and now I'm standing strong, man.
Love that, dude.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, it's powerful. Yeah. Right on. Yeah, for me, like, I never really fell into an addiction. I think I probably could have, for sure, if I didn't have my wife and my kids. They definitely prevented me from drinking more. But when I drank, right? Like 100%. And For me, like, I've never been able to open up and cry in front of my wife and kids. Like, I've always been the provider, the protector. That's an image that I always had in my own head, kind of because of the way I was raised. And thankfully I found a psychologist that, for the first few times I went there, like, I just cried, like uncontrollably cried, because it's stuff that I was holding in for so long and didn't know how it was, didn't have a label on it, like didn't know how to talk about it, especially to my wife, because I didn't want her to be like, oh, he's
for
a little
sure.
bitch.
Yeah,
for
sure.
And so thankfully I found a psychologist to help me through that and ask some tough questions. And my wife knows this, like, it's still a process. Like, I don't think I've cried in front of her yet. Will it happen? Probably. I'm still working on that vulnerability part of it, and but it started. And
that's huge, man. And I can't relate with being married and having kids, but you hear it all the time. You're the provider, right? You can't show weakness because you don't want your kids to see you cry. Well, man, there's way too many guys that are struggling just for that reason, right? So that's important, man. And another big thing too, if your son or daughter is struggling, that's another big one, right? And how do parents deal with it? Right? And I'm always like, how do you deal with it? That's a good question, because I'm always, men are too scared to ask for help with their own kids, right? Because it's a sense of weakness for you, right? You don't want to go ask him, how do you do it with your kid? Because that's a sign of weakness. I'm going to deal with it, right? Well, how do you deal with it? Have you came across anything like that?
And we've talked about it in past podcasts and stuff. And the biggest thing for me now that I'm going through this change, before I was very much like, if my boy's 5, and if he's crying or having a tantrum or feeling feelings, I would just be like, get over it, But now I'm starting to ask him questions about what he's feeling, and giving him options about what feeling he's actually feeling. Yeah. So trying to label that and make sure he knows it's okay. And on the counterpoint too, I think it is important also to, like, there is a time and place for that. Because on the other side, like, for me, I didn't get that as a kid, and it definitely made me resilient. So I'm trying to instill that with my boy, but also let him know that feelings are okay, and it's okay to talk about them, and making sure that he knows that I'm a safe place.
It's like a balancing act, right?
Yeah,
man.
It's hard. It's hard. Yeah, and that's something we never grew up with. So I'm trying to roll with it and find a positive way to make sure he doesn't go through what I went through.
That's huge, man. Yeah, that is huge.
That's awesome. I was just thinking, because you asked a question about, like, what can teammates or the teams do to kind of reach out, or if you're struggling. And I don't know, like, when you answered the question, I was just thinking about it, and I just, partying and drinking and all those outrageous behaviors is the culture of lots of these sports teams, right? Whether it be hockey, football, soccer, baseball. I don't know if it will ever change unless the culture changes.
I think it's starting.
Because like, I don't think there's anything inherently bad about drinking alcohol. I personally can't do it because of, the way I was raised and whatever. I just overdo it every single time, and some people don't, or whatever, and then it can spiral into a different addiction or whatever. But right, like, I just know, like, when we were playing, it was just emphasized, like, that's just what you did. And so I wouldn't have known if someone had a problem. I had a friend reach out to me 6 months ago, and they ended up I played university sports with them, and they told me, like, I had a huge addiction problem. I had to go to rehab and all this, and I was like, what? Yeah, I had no idea, and it went on for years, right? So, and I would have loved to reach out, but I didn't know, and maybe I was oblivious because I was also in my addiction. Yeah. Right, but I'm just thinking about
it's true, man, and I'm big because I'm trying to get into these hockey leagues, right? I shared my story, the SJHL showcase 2 years ago, and I'm with a couple midget AAA teams, but I just picture myself being in these players' shoes. There needs to be a mental health advocate, someone who's not even a part of that team. You know, it doesn't even have to
Has
be.
to be independent.
Independent, a guy that has played, you know, that has experience, that these kids understands, these kids could relate with, has walked in my shoes, all that. If you have someone like that, these kids can reach out to and, hey, Dylan, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. You could talk it out. Instead, because these athletes, man, they have so much pressure as it is. No one knows what's going on behind the scenes. Everyone just sees the people on the field or at the rink on the ice, right? But no one knows what's going on. And especially being an athlete, it's so much pressure, and you don't want to lose your spot if you're dealing with something. Well, you don't want to tell your teammates because they think you're pussy everything, man, right? So there needs to be someone on a team that there is no shame, no nothing, that you could go to them and air it out. You know, we didn't have that. It was suck it up. You know, it was, you know, and everything just built up over time, right? And end of the day, man, these athletes are human. You know?
Yep.
We forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Athletes are human. They have feelings and emotions too, man. They deal with shit, but how are they talking? How are they dealing with it? Well, you need to get someone in there to make it okay and make it comfortable and knowing, right?
Yep.
So.
Jason, for you, because you've coached a lot of high-level sports.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen anything that kind of red flag or light bulb go off?
No. Unfortunately, like I coached high-level volleyball growing up, like Canada Games teams, provincial teams, and this would have been probably 12 years ago, so quite a while ago. But there was nothing really like that. The only thing that we would bring in is a sports psychologist to talk about performance.
Mm-hmm.
There was never anything for mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And has that changed now? I don't know. I hope so. I think it's becoming more and more prevalent, but yeah, unfortunately, like I was oblivious. I thought everyone is hunky dory, and I looking back, like I wish I knew more at the time, because 100% there's athletes struggling. So,
and that's funny you said that with the performance, right? Working on confidence. It's great having those people, but where are the guys helping the kids away from the sport? What they're doing in their parents' house, in their rooms, how they're dealing with their thoughts and emotions. Like that's where I come. Like that's what I've been doing is I worry about the kids away from their sport. Because drugs, alcohol, girls, boys, everything, right? So it's important, man. And like you said, you're oblivious because you didn't know, right? And you didn't have the tools. But now, like I guarantee if you go coaching next year, there's going to be a couple conversations. There's going to be different, right? I mean, that's good. You just need, you know, it's time. Like not everyone's going to have everything figured out, but you just need that one good person, you know? Just, it's okay, you guys. You know, so.
What, in your experience doing this now, what's been your biggest hurdle, like to get your message across?
I think there's a lot of things, man. Obviously, social media is good, but mental health is a thing, but it's still not. You know, I've been trying to get in these hockey leagues. I've been trying to get a part, but still nothing. But it's not. I just think it's not my time yet. But honestly, it's just there's hurdles everywhere, man. Honestly, I started a brand new page 3 years ago, 0 followers, like. And I just kept going, kept doing my thing, kept talking, and it just gradually comes. It's just, you know, there's hurdles at everything you do, man. It's how you're going to respond. Who are you talking to? You know, are you dealing with it on your own? Are you trying to figure it out? Or are you picking up your phone and being a fucking man, and asking for help? Because that's the new tough, right? Fucking talking about that shit. Not fucking throwing fists and who could drink the most beers. Like what we were growing up to do, right?
Oh, 100%.
So, yeah, fellas, it's good. It's good.
Man, just hearing your excitement about and like enthusiasm about mental health, like this is the new age, this is the new man, like let's fucking get it out, let's talk about our stuff. Like I'm pumped. I'm getting like pumped up.
It's good, man.
Like, this is exactly what we need.
Yeah, it's huge, and I just picture myself. That's why I love guys like you, that you're actually walking the walk. You know, I didn't know what I was doing when I first started. No idea. You know, and you guys are doing it, man. Just keep doing your thing, and you guys are this is awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are naturals behind the camera. You guys have stories. It's not like you don't have a story, and you're just doing it. No, you're taking a negative, you're taking shit that you've been through that no one fucking knows, and you're helping.
Yep.
Right? So hats off to you guys, because I respect, and we need more of it. We need an army, man. We need more guys, especially men, fucking speaking up. So yeah, hats off to you guys. Total respect. So it's awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Djay.
I do know that you have a lot going on with what you're doing here. Is for any of the viewers, listeners, is there anything that you want to share about things that you're up and coming doing?
Yeah. No. So the biggest thing I got right now is my mental health 3-on-3 classic hockey tournament. When I was living in Kinnersley, I remember I wanted to give back some way or another. I just wanted to do something hockey related, but I wanted to make it fun. And I remember I said, I want to do a 3-on-3 hockey tournament where it's just kids. We'll bring in some mental health speakers. And it took me 4 months later, I sold out my first tournament in Kinnersley with 108 kids. What's different about my tournament is I have music blasting during the games. Professional announcers. I got 2 WHL announcers that are play-by-play. Kids
cool.
love that. I have businesses setting up tables. I have real lived experience mental health speakers coming in to share their stories with the kids. It's pure mental health, man. I got Al Anderson's is my major sponsor this year. They stepped up and got us jerseys for the kids. Beautiful customized jerseys for the kids. 216 kids are coming. And swag bags from Player Athletics. We got swag bags with prizes. It's just overall a good time. It's my 4th one, my 2nd annual in Saskatoon. And what's big this year, it's this August 9th and 10th, and I got both ice surfaces this year. So I'm doubling up the tournament. So got 172 kids signed up so far, need 216 to sell out. It's from 7 to 16-year-olds coming out and having fun, man. It's what it's all about, is just having fun in August.
Awesome.
So
awesome. And how can they check that out?
Yeah, you could. I got a website, and on my Instagram, it's at Mental Health Classic, and my website is www.mentalhealthclassic.ca. We got some videos, registration, everything on there. So it's going to be a good time.
That's awesome,
man.
dude.
Have some fun, and then just continuing speaking. Got a couple speaking engagements coming up, and it's actually my first big event. Going to a golf tournament tomorrow, Elk Ridge. Helping out players. It's their player cups. This is gonna be my first time being around alcohol, a lot of big stuff. So this is growing, right? I'm ready, but it took me almost 3 years. It's gonna be 3 years to be okay doing it. So I'm excited, man. So it's crazy when you work on yourself and true to yourself, and good things come to you. Yeah. So it's crazy. It's awesome.
Well, thanks for coming, DJ. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, fellas.
Yeah. Should we do a group hug or
whatever you want?
It's the new thing, right?
Whatever you want.
We'll take a picture.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks,
and
we'll
guys,
take a picture. For watching, listening, and don't stay silent. Thank you.
Thanks.